Become the best version of yourself at work, at home, and everywhere in between. You're listening to All We Know About the Stuff We Know. Are you passionate about personal development? An aspiring leader aiming to make an impact? Do you wish to be more content in your personal life? You're in the right place. All We Know About the Stuff We Know is a podcast presented by Focus Tools and hosted by Ashley Martin and Dave Osgood. It is your go-to resource for leadership, team performance, and personal growth. Each episode features real-life stories infused with timeless wisdom and humor from Ash and Dave, seasoned trainers who have guided thousands of people to become more effective on the job and at home. We'll help you avoid common pitfalls in communication and decision-making. We'll raise your awareness about why you do the things you do. And we'll give you simple strategies to help you elevate your relationships, achieve outstanding results, and live a more fulfilling life. If you're ready to grow professionally, personally, and beyond, this podcast is for you. This is all we know about the stuff we know. We are officially in the Focus Tools studio. Welcome, Dave. How are you?
Well, I'm living here.
He's alive!
I'm making progress at very small increments, but yeah, I think we're finally over a little hump.
Like a camel.
What's that? Yeah, I know.
Does a camel have one hump or two humps?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like 45 humps. Last night, I thought, okay, I think everything's cleared out. And then at 1 a.m. this morning at 5 a.m., blah, blah, blah. And then,
has it been almost 2 weeks? Is that
yes,
where we're at? Okay, yeah, that's about what it is.
2 weeks tomorrow. I'm like, come on.
Yep.
I've always considered myself better than average, so this is pissing me off.
You know what? You were always below average. You just didn't know it.
I guess so. But yeah, I mean, gosh, I can't remember the last time I was down for this long.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of sucks.
What are you eating?
What am I eating? Well, I'm eating, pretty much my normal diet now. But I'm down 7 pounds.
Yeah.
So,
because you're just sleeping or you're not as hungry or what is it?
Yeah, both. I'm sleeping a ton.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to sleep a ton. I mean, at night, the most I get is about 3 hours at a time.
Because you're waking up from coughing or you're just always uncomfortable? Like, tell me about that.
Just that there's so much crap in my lungs that I start going.
Have you done the Mucinex stuff?
So,
to break it up?
No, our doctor said just let it happen on its own because that's going to be the best way to get it done quickly. Yeah, and this is our naturopath doctor who we've seen for the last few years, so I trust her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been kind of like, oh my gosh. And then the other day I was coughing so hard, I heard something, like in my ribs, and I'm like, uh-oh, did I just crack a rib? So I've had the ARP on my ribs for the last 2 days, just trying to, because after that, every time I coughed, it was like someone just took a dagger and went, isn't that fun? I'm sounding like, an old person now complaining about all the shit that's wrong with them. Yeah, I know. Jeez, I tell you, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to Frank for a long time yesterday, and he said guys on the tour are dealing with. Frankie's had something similar. It's just kind of this nasty respiratory virus that some people are getting, and when they get it, it takes hold. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like how I was saying how like all my family got sick? Like my mom got sick, and then Casey and Seth and Bosie got sick, and then my dad was sick. And I'm like, I'm lucky I haven't got sick. I'm like, dude, I was the first one sick. I was sick in November. Do you remember that? Like, I was sick.
Yeah, maybe you got through it.
Maybe I got it first.
Yeah. Well, our immunity is going to be amazing once it's all over. I mean, but until then, yeah. So actually, I'm thinking maybe today I'll get out, literally leave the house. So it'll be a big day for me.
Well, you did a lot of travel in a very small amount of time.
Yeah, I'm sure I caught it up in Minnesota somewhere. Even though I hardly saw anyone up there, I was on 2 airplanes, and all that stuff. So I bet you it was our contractor that gave it to me.
I want to know the update on that. Don't laugh too hard.
So I can't remember where I last left you off, but I went
You
up
were
there.
trying to hire somebody else. You called my ex-husband. He didn't answer. And
That's
then
right.
you moved on with your life.
So we found a painting company
Okay.
and hired them to do the rest of the interior painting work, and they've been amazing so far. And so we're really happy with them. And I met him. Mary found him. I met him when I was there. Liked him. Mary was up there last week.
How's she?
And she's doing good. And she liked him too, so we put him to work, and he's doing great. So that's good. Former contractors are sending us demand notes. So we're like, are you kidding me? So now we're going to have to play cat and mouse. So we'll see where that goes. But I mean, come on. Now they're denying that anyone ever stayed in our basement, despite photographic and verbal evidence that they admitted to. So they refused to give us the name of the electrical contractor. There has been no permits pulled, so we're having to deal with that.
Have any permits pulled before they started the work?
The electrical work, no. Or any other work, they pulled 0 permits. Yeah, so that's going to be a problem. Yeah, I mean, they're just, you know what? We should have gone with we had this intuition that they're going to be a pain in the ass to work with, but we kind of fought through it. And then they had a stretch. They had a stretch early on where things were going okay. And we thought, okay, well, maybe we're just getting to know each other, and have to find maybe, we're going through like forming, storming, norming, and performing. Maybe we're getting through our storming phase. No, that just turns out that they were dipshits.
Okay, this is something I wanted to ask you because it's kind of a great podcast topic. Because I have this too. I have this intuition that speaks to me no matter what the black and white data says.
Yeah.
So tell me in your experience why you went with this guy instead of listening to your intuition. Or did you even do the black and white data of the decision analysis whole shebang?
Well, there was really 2 reasons why we ended up going with them. One was we were running out of time before we were leaving town, and we wanted definitely to get this work done this winter. And so we did have that discussion, should we just wait till next year to get this stuff done? No, then it's a whole nother year and blah, 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 blah. And the house was falling apart anyway. And then the second kind of discussion was, how hard can it be? I mean, they're just painting. They're tearing down one closet. They're scraping popcorn. They're putting up new trim, and they're painting.
Hold 1 second. Do you see an echo cancellation button? Can you click that? Because I'm starting to hear an echo.
Hold on. All right, you're back.
I'm back. Ash, Dave, take 2. So while we were troubleshooting, the cat decided to jump in my lap.
Oh, funny.
My shoes went flying.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were talking about 2 reasons of why you made the decision that you did and ignored your intuition. First was urgency, speed, wanting to make the decision quickly and not wanting to delay it another year.
Yep. And the second one was it's not rocket science. They're scraping popcorn. They're painting walls. They're putting up some trim. How hard is that?
Yeah.
But then we started after they started working, all of a sudden they started sending us, they call them addendums, but they're really like additional work. We since we're doing this here, we have to relocate a bunch of stuff there. So that's going to cost $2,000. Now, we found some mold in the wall, so we're going to remediate that. That's like $3,000. And that was legit.
Yeah.
Then it's like, now what we thought was going to cost this much is going to end up costing that much. So we need another $4,000. And we're like, all they care about is we're starting to get these nickels, dimes. And then like every other communication was, we need money. Send us money. Send us money. We need more money. Yeah. But now we need more money. We need, 70% down for the iron railings. Well, when we talked to the actual iron railing people, they only needed 25% down. So they're like, and then once this thing all unraveled, we discovered they were marking stuff up incredibly high.
Yeah, because they were subbing everything out and they could charge whatever they want for that.
Yep.
Before you got into working with them, did your intuition speak to you before that you ignored? Because you're telling me about action steps that you realized once you had already kind of committed to this process and you're getting the icky vibes.
Well, yeah. they wanted to bid our kitchen also. And we were very happy with Craft Masters doing our bathrooms. And so that's what they do, bathrooms and kitchens. So we had very specific ideas on what we wanted to do in the kitchen. We just wanted a makeover. We didn't want to redo. We didn't want to blow out walls or relocate stuff or anything like that. And so these guys said, well, let us give you a bid also, and you can compare us with your other bid. So we go, okay. And so their bid came back like twice as expensive, but they completely redid our kitchen. No, we're going to relocate the refrigerator over here. We're going to move this, double the size of this opening. We're going to do that. We're going to do all this. And we go, that's not what we asked for. Yeah, I know, but this would be really cool and you're really going to love it. And it'll be great for entertaining. I told you this story. And we're like, we don't care. Why? We don't entertain much. What do you mean you don't entertain much? And so now I start to get a little pissed. I go, well, truthfully, we don't have any friends.
Are you saying this out of spite just to get rid of them? Or?
Well, just to shut them up.
Right.
And they go, what do you mean? No friends? I said, no, we're only here in the summertime. Yeah. Everyone's doing a million things in the summertime. No one's throwing dinner parties. Yeah. So we don't need this. So, if you want to bid the project, bid it like we originally asked. So they came back a second one, again, more than we had scoped. And so finally we just said, forget it. We're going with these other guys. And then kind of the other things, they were like, I don't know why you're going with these guys. We could have done a better job. And we're like, okay. Yeah, we probably ignored our own intuition.
You ignored the whole process, it seems like.
We might have, yeah. Yep. And I think the deciding factors, like I said earlier, were those two factors. Do we want to go an entire calendar year longer delaying this whole project? Because then we'd have to delay the kitchen too, because the popcorn and everything has to come down first. And we're like, we just want to get this done and move on with our lives. Yeah. So that was the first one. And then the second one was like, come on, it's not rocket science. They're just scraping popcorn and painting walls. How hard can that be? Well, turns out it was a lot harder than, they made it a lot harder than it should have been.
They made it a Holiday Inn.
And then they made it a Holiday Inn. Yeah. I don't know. So we'll get the project done. Heading up there next week, she's going to meet with the new electrical contractor. These guys were referred to us by our lighting people, which we love. And they've got very good referrals from them and some others. Right. So this guy basically said, yeah, we can finish the job. It looks like they did a pretty decent job. I'm sure we'll be able to work something out. So, excuse me.
He's just a poor baby man.
I got regular water. I got electrolyte water. Yeah. What else do I got? I got some natural cough syrup. The good news is I've been alcohol free for almost a month.
That went well with your dry January, didn't it?
It sure did. Yeah. Not on purpose, but
God told you.
Yeah. So I think once this is all said and done, we'll just keep the streak going and see what happens. Yeah. But anyway, so that's our story. Yeah.
That's terrible.
So I know it's a comedy.
We say it's terrible and it's a tragedy. No, it's how you look at it. It's a comedy. Who was that told you that?
When did you tell me that?
No, somebody told you that life is a comedy.
Oh,
or like
I don't
it's
know.
In a book.
I don't know, but
we'll find out. I'll Google it. True. It's so true.
Yeah. So that's what we've been up to.
Yeah. Huh. Good. Okay.
The house will get done by April when we come back, so that's the good news.
Good.
And the other good news is the work that these people did was actually really good. They didn't schlock it up, and I think the electrical is going to be fine. So that part's going to be okay. So, and we're probably going to save a few $1,000s. So, yeah. So tell me about what did you up to so I can listen for a while. I'll go electrolyte now.
All right, go electrolyte. So we had the blizzard here, and now it's like 70 degrees and balmy again. So we're enjoying life. We're walking everywhere. In our evening hours, we've been building this entry shelf. I've got one door down at the bottom, but it's going to be super cute. Moon Man has been helping me build the shelf. I've been manning on my own, learning how to do life. That's been great.
So the Phoenix Open is next week. Yep. Frankie's in it. And so I'll probably be spending a fair bit of time out there, assuming that I'm human again. Frank and I were talking yesterday, and he said something about being an entrepreneur versus working for a company and decision making. I said, basically, he says, when you're an entrepreneur, you just get shit done and then you fix it later. He said, that doesn't fly. And a lot of people who work for big companies don't know how to do that. And they're uncomfortable with that. But that's the way, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to learn to be uncomfortable with this process. And if you're not, then you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. And I said, Frank, that is a great couple of comments. Save it for when you're a guest on our podcast.
I know. Anytime anybody's saying something, I'm like, while we record.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get him on. I told Tim we're playing with the idea of a podcast. I think he might be one of our good first guests because he presents himself so well, and he could talk on any topic. So he'd be perfect as a one of our first guests. Perfect. Certainly.
You feel better?
And I can work on silently without coughing on the screen. I tell you. Yeah, well, I officially reached the I'm bored out of my mind stage about 5 days ago. So, I'm ready to get back and do stuff.
You want to come over here and put together furniture? I know you're getting good at that.
I am. Well, we have 2 end tables coming tomorrow that I'm putting together. That'll give me something to do. Yeah, exactly. So, all right.
Thank you.
All righty. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. When I was young, we used to watch Westerns on TV. And remember Clint Eastwood, the actor, and the Westerns he used to make way back in the day? One of his most favorite Westerns was called The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. And when we were writing this book, I was thinking, you know what? That's a lot like decision making, isn't it? We make some decisions that are good, we make some decisions that are bad, and we just make a few decisions that are just plain ugly. But why is that? And so in the book, hopefully after reading it, you'll know, oh, that's why I make good decisions, or that's why my decisions tend to not turn out the way I want them to, or that's why some of the decisions I make are just plain ugly. And so the goal is keep making the good decisions, turn some of those bad decisions into better decisions, and eliminate the ugly decisions altogether. So again, we boiled it down to 5 things, 5 concepts and principles that you can put into action every day that will improve your decision-making scorecard immensely. So have a read, and good luck in decision-making.
All we know about the stuff we know is built for people like you who want to think better, lead better, and connect better at work and beyond. If this show has sparked new ideas or helped you navigate something really challenging in your life, we'd love to connect with you. Follow us on Instagram at The Stuff We Know Show, or get in touch with us on the web at www.focustools.com. Like what you're hearing? Let us know. Leave a review. It takes 30 seconds and makes a huge difference. Your engagement helps more people find us, and it helps us keep bringing you the good stuff. And hey, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up. See you next time for all we know about the stuff we know.